बिल्लाहि मिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. Dear friends, welcome to Idea Foundation Forum. Today we will discuss barriers of science and divine order. Barriers of science and divine order in the continuity of our lectures on the Qur'anic philosophy of unity in diversity. Discussion made in the previous lectures in the context of unity in diversity urges us to know why science could not evolve a definite reasoning on several issues related to the emergence of universe and life and their sustainability. And thus it had to depend on the assumptions, hypotheses and revisions most of the time to establish its theories and philosophies. Review of the facts discussed in these lectures leads to find some recurrent barriers of science that caused such imbroglios in the history of scientific thought. Major barriers of science may be summed up under four captions, namely lack of faith, limitations of knowledge, closed instead of holistic view, and inert biases based on materialist mindset and socio-cultural rigidities. They not only kept the scientific outlook captivated within the narrow lanes of materiality and observation, not letting it think about the divine order working pervasively, comprehensively behind the physical outfit of the matter, but they also impeded other ways of inquiry variant to the observatory means. In this lecture, we will point out some important junctures of scientific thought where science could not find appropriate cause to the effect and had to depend upon the frivolous assumptions and hypotheses, but the said barriers did not let it find some credible resolution by linking these junctures with the working of all-inclusive divine order. It reminds me a thoughtful statement we discussed in previous lectures. Listen, there is nothing self-centered. Everything sustains with Allah's command. So, dear friends, let us begin with the limitations of knowledge of the man about the universe. 13.8 billion years ago, when the earliest outburst of expansion of the universe had already taken place, light of the galaxies located on the edge of the observable universe could take 13.4 billion years to reach us, which would now take 46.5 billion light years to reach us. It means the universe has grown more than 3 times since its earliest expansion. It is likely to grow persistently in future too, as both the Quran and science have told us. By now, despite its best efforts in developing observatory instruments and extraordinary intellectual evolution in the recent past, science has acknowledged that the part of the universe it could discover so far is just a small fraction of the whole universe. The whole universe is unimaginable, of imaginable size, but a fraction, very small fraction, you may call it tip of the iceberg. Of this tip, of this small portion of the known universe, only 4% comprises of billions of galaxies and trillions of stars, while the remaining 96% comprises of dark energy and dark matter. It tells, focus my point, it tells how little of the universe is known, while all the rest is yet unknown, unseen in the words of Quran to the man, unknown to the man, unseen to the man, and will remain so in view of its growing nature of the universe. It tells insignificance of the man's knowledge about the universe. Understand? Now, depending on his limited faculty of observation, should the man claim a credible authority of his findings in the immeasurable realm of the unseen universe? It's a question. Even within the meager fraction of 4% of the claimed observable universe is not much known in its true sense. For example, what is the background of my statement? Earth is only one of the tiniest cosmic bodies among billions of galaxies and trillions of stars contained in this small cosmic fraction of observable universe, which is 4%. Even the man's excess over this little cosmic body, means the earth, is less than 1%. The man so far knows only about 1% of the whole earth, or his accessibility is limited to 1%. Then how he can give a final verdict on the operations of universe or the earth, and how he can refute the divinity working behind the material outfit of the universe or life on the basis of his inert biases and so little knowledge that he has. Think on it. Dear friends, now let us examine the scientific outlook about the emergence of universe. Physics has given its findings as quantum singularity for the origin of the universe, named the Big Bang by Fred Hoyle, an English cosmologist. Now there is consensus among the physicists, including Stephen Hawking, Roger Penrose, and other eminent contemporaries, on the emergence of universe, that it originally started exploding from an incredible hot, dense single object of the size of fraction of an inch in the space about 13.8 billion years ago. Within a few earliest moments, a few seconds, the universe underwent an incredible growth spurt, exploded. As it expanded, its temperature cooled so rapidly that it caused the dust of particles called quarks, 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 small particles, invisible and very difficult to bring it in sight. Very small particles, quarks, they started forming into protons, neutrons, electrons, and atomic nuclei, the building blocks of matter. The universe is made of. The universe is made of all these quarks, or protons, neutrons, electrons. For the last a few decades, the theories of general relativity and quantum mechanics have been applied for defining the birth, configuration, formation, and collapse of various constituents of the universe, starting from atom, very small thing, going up to the stars. Cause and effect relationship, cause and effect relationship is considered to be the moving spirit of all the theories proclaimed by science so far. This is cause, it is the effect. If there is no cause, science doesn't acknowledge the effect. Keep it in mind. Whereas in case of initial spurt of the universe, when science could not find an observable cause, it had to compromise on this sacred dictum, adopting the assumption of quantum singularity, because they couldn't find the cause of that spurt, of that explosion. It refers to the point when the universe was infinitesimally small, infinitely small, and infinitely dense before the Big Bang surged. Physicists believed that mathematics fails to handle infinite numbers related to such a point in the universe, and thus the general theory of relativity itself breaks down under the situation. It is not Abdul Khalik saying, it is what the physicist says. Science, instead of finding some plausible resolution to this imbroglio, confused situation, they prefer to assume it as the first cause requiring no explanation. It's an assumption. To overcome this awesome situation, science sought support of a frail assumption. What is frail assumption? Weak assumption, but its inert biases and rigid attitude didn't let it ponder, think for a moment on the divinity working behind the matter. This is the biases. This is the prejudice. So, dear friends, Stephen Hawking, on the basis of quantum singularity, where density reaches infinity, as we just discussed, predicts that such infinite density may be a probable cause of black hole and anticipated cause of big crunch of the universe one day, which means end of the universe, culminating at singularity. As the universe started from quantum singularity, it will finish at the point of quantum singularity. This is what the Stephen says, Stephen Hawking. Against imaginary pessimistic view of science regarding total collapse of entire cosmic systems attributed to the black hole, the Qur'anic view is optimistic, giving hope of recreation, emerging of new worlds. Imagine, though Quranic verses reveal occurrences of the cosmic phenomena like the black hole, yet we find information from some verses that such collapses may be beginning of new creation of new stars or new worlds or universe. This potential of a black hole is proven. It is not a myth. It is proven by the emergence of the solar system from a giant rotating cloud of gas and dust left behind by a collapsing of bigger star known as the solar nebula. The sun is one of more than 100 billion stars in the family of Milky Way galaxy, and they too, maybe, possibility is there, and they too might have the same historic perspective of their creation. Means they might have been the product of some collapsing stars or collapsing black holes. Recently, Helen Deng, a cosmologist at Arizona State University in America, advocating multiverse theory of multiple universes, has also given a prospective view, not perspective, prospective, future view of the black hole. View giving the hope. To him, a dying star in our universe may pass through the process of quantum tunneling, causing creation of a new universe elsewhere. It may be a black hole in this universe, but it may be creating another universe elsewhere, leaving behind a vacuum in our universe in the shape of a black hole. Thus, the Quran has given guiding vision. The Quran has given guiding vision on such mysterious works of the nature like the black hole or black matter, which have been puzzling science since long. The Quran's guiding vision can help science in resolving such cosmic puzzles, mysteries, provided there is a condition, provided it gets ready, science gets ready to come out of rigid confinement of materialist mindset. It's important. So, dear friends, as mentioned earlier, the theories of general relativity and quantum mechanics have been applied for defining the birth, configuration, and collapse of various constituents of the universe, starting from atom up to star during last a few decades. However, current research, very recent research, does not find the said two theories compatible with each other on the issues of collapse of stars and collapse of atoms or protons. Contrary to the possibility of collapse of a star falling victim to infinite density, such collapse is hardly conceivable. In case of a proton as assumed under Pauli's exclusion principle discovered by Wolfgang Pauli in 1925. He explains that all the known particles, he is not an ordinary person, he is a Nobel Prize winner. He explains that all the known particles in the universe are of two types. First are the particles of spin half 1/2, which make up the matter in the universe, every matter in the universe. Second type of particles is of spin 0, 1 and 2, which cause force between the matter particles, which give movement. The matter particles of half spin pursue the exclusion principle, which says that two similar particles cannot exist in same state. It means they cannot have both the same position and same velocity. By virtue of exclusion principle, matter particles do not collapse to a state of very high density under the influence of forces produced by the particles of spin 0, 1 and 2. If the matter particles, means of half spin, have nearly the same positions, they must have different velocities. If they have same position, they must have different velocities, which mean that they will not stay in same position for long. While critically appraising the assumption of exclusion principle, Stephen Hawking noted in his book A Brief History of Time that had the world been created without the exclusion principle, neither quarks would have ability to form separate, well-defined protons and neutrons, nor these protons and neutrons, together with electrons, had been able to form well-defined atoms. It means no matter, no universe. Just imagine. Thus, formation of atoms, regrettable. Think on it. Think the limitations of science. Thus, formation of atoms, the building blocks of the matter and the universe, has been left to the mercy of a frivolous assumption called the exclusion principle. Give some time to think on it. I will invite my scientists, my physicist brothers and sisters to give serious thought on this point. So, dear friends, throughout its history, science explored hundreds of notions, concepts regarding the origin of life, but most of them were based on hypotheses and assumptions, as we discussed in lecture 175. Despite that, it could hardly find an argument credible enough to sustain its eminence beyond a few generations. Likewise, despite strenuous efforts in designing biological evolution, think of Darwin, or such other theories, science could not achieve consensus on the vital issues of transformation from first creation to repetitive procreation and transformation from single gender species to coupling of males and females for perpetuation of life. Contrary to science, the Quran is very clear and precise in its explanations regarding all these aspects of life. The Quran reveals the creation of Hazrat Adam as a single self from whom his female companion Eve was brought forth before their landing on the earth. Allah intended to populate the earth through procreative process. For that, the first couple was blessed with the procreative ability to multiply the reproduction of mankind by mixing sperm drop of male and female egg. By this wonderful mechanism, Allah caused perpetuation of reproduction activity as a joint venture of the male and female that provided a strong basis of family institution as well. Similar process was adopted in case of animals and plants. For detailed study, Quranic references shown on the screen may be consulted. Now think, if the concept of creationism is not left to traditional prejudices and stubbornness of science, and once it is accepted that the first entity came into being by an act of direct creation, like the creation of universe as a Big Bang, it would ease to accept that the first member of all species of animal life was created by the Creator's own act of creation, and then from the single soul its posterity started through different forms of procreation. Dear friends, the earth, despite its insignificant size in the universe, tells great mysteries of nature. One of them is its protective system. Science remained puzzled on several of its aspects till its recent discoveries. However, the Quran had given revealing information, not information, revealing information on these aspects about 15 centuries ago. I may refer 4 of these aspects here. First, the earth sustains predominantly on the elements that dominate the solar system to which it belongs. Earth belongs. 98% of mass of the sun comprises of 3 gases: hydrogen, helium, and lithium. Such uniformity provides it with balance, compatibility, and sustainability within the mother solar system. It's a blessing of God, blessing of Allah. Second, safety of the tiny earth and life on it was granted by landing the water along with its recycling system, and iron with its potency, power to generate adequate geomagnetic field that could establish magnetosphere or Van Allen belts, as we studied in previous lectures. Third, atmosphere comprising of 7 layers provided the earth with a protective ceiling that stops the matter detrimental to the sustainability of the earth and life on it. And also it filters the incoming matter, keeping in view its utility for the earth. If it is useful, these layers let the matter comes down. If it is not useful for the earth or the inhabitants, that is stopped without coming down on the earth. Fourth, creation of mountains ensured stability to the earth. For detailed study of the protective system of the earth, lecture 171 may be revisited. Besides that, the Quranic references shown on the screen may also be consulted. Dear friends, due to time constraints, we could discuss only a few examples showing science dependence on assumptions and hypotheses to establish its theories in the realm of the universe and life. Science never preferred to come out of narrow lanes of materiality and observation to think about the divine order working pervasively behind physical outfit of the matter. In this context, Ayat 36 of Surah Yunus precisely sums up stubbornness of science, mostly based on lack of faith, limitations of knowledge, and inert biases deepened by materialist mindset and socio-cultural rigidities. Note the words of the ayat. وَمَا يَتَّبِعُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ إِلَّا ظَنًّا إِنَّ الظَّنَّ لَا يُغْنِي مِنَ الْحَقِّ شَيْئًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَفْعَلُونَ. Listen the translation. And most of them follow not except assumption. Indeed, assumption avails not against the truth at all. Indeed, Allah is knowing of what they do. So, dear friends, here we conclude our discussion today. These programs are recorded both in Urdu and English. Their videos can be watched on ideafoundation.com.pk website or its YouTube web channel and Facebook. Their written versions are also available on the Idea Foundation's website. Please note code number of this program, Idea 2 or 14 or lecture number 177. All friends are requested to subscribe the Foundation's YouTube web channel for the benefit of this noble cause. Thank you friends for participation. Allah Hafiz.